Welcome to episode 22.
It's already been 22.
No, it's 22.
Nope, you posted last week. Welcome to episode 22.
Welcome to episode 23 of Close Encounters of the Funny Time. Really thought it was 22. It's starting to blur together. This has been the most exhausting week ever. We'll get into that in a second, but let's do our beer first. Sam took a little business trip to the Great White North. Wait, I think that might be Canada. I think that's what they call it.
The airport I flew into, if I walked to the other side of it, I think I could have walked over the state line and could have been in Canada. I don't know if part of the airport is or it's super close, but like border control was part of the airport.
Alright, so tell them where you got this. I'll hold it up.
So I knew nothing about this beer, and one of the nights I was there, we went to this place for dinner, which was really good, and I had my first cheese curds, and they were, like heaven in my mouth. They were delicious.
That's what she said.
And I had one of their beers, and I can't remember, it was bloody something, but it was really good. And then while we were sitting there talking about it, I mentioned that we had a podcast and that we taste beers. Still didn't mention the name of the podcast. I don't tell you at work. But they know that we taste beers. So one of the guys was like, when you go through the airport, because it's the only way you can buy it and get it out of the great state of Wisconsin, is you have to buy it once you're already on the other side of security check, and then you can put it in your carry-on, and that's how you can buy it and bring it home with you. Because he said he's...
So crazy. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
so supposedly you cannot buy this beer anywhere except for Wisconsin. And he said when he comes to Jacksonville every once in a while, he grabs one or two 6-packs and brings them to our Jacksonville office. So
this better be good beer.
I hope so. So I walked through the airport and saw it, and I was like, I gotta get it. And then I also bought a new pint mug from Seven Hills North in Plattsville, Wisconsin. If you've never been there, it's a very small town. Very small. I actually went to my first bar in probably 6, 5,
I don't know.
7 years.
I don't know. Well, this doesn't say what type of beer it is. Just this new Glarus Brewing Company, Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
Just says ale. What is this?
I've heard it's really good. So
Well, it better be if they won't allow you to export it. It's like it's got cocaine and waffles in it or something. That's pretty good. I like it. It's good. I mean, just stop. Sam was telling me this story a little bit and was saying that, like, they didn't, which is, I guess I don't understand, like, why wouldn't you want to expand your brand and have it in other states, but they want you to come to Wisconsin.
I was told
nobody's coming to Wisconsin for beer. Nobody's like, that beer's just so good, we gotta fly in. Like,
so
it's not that good.
Just to be clear,
but it is good. I like it.
I have seen more of Wisconsin in a matter of 3 days than anyone needs to see in 3 days. I'm not saying Wisconsin's a bad place, but I saw a lot of it in 3 days.
Yeah.
A lot.
At least it wasn't snowing.
It was over 8 hours of driving in Wisconsin that I did.
So that kind of kicks off like the week we were talking about. So this has been the longest week of all time. So Sam left on
Monday.
Yeah, Monday business trip. So,
but before I could leave, I had to pick our youngest up from school at like 10:30, sick.
Yeah. So
he had started himself.
Okay.
So I had to go pick him up.
So he's been puking and been sick the
since last Wednesday.
Yeah, just off and on. And
because remember the pink guy from the last episode we talked about.
Yeah.
And then the vomiting all day, and they went like.
He's totally fine all summer, and then he goes back to school around these germy little kids, and just like has the black lung and tuberculosis and like green fever, or they're just making up new stuff. I'm like, can we like, I mean,
my bingo
wash
card
these
is
kids,
full.
like let's power wash them with a pressure washer when they're getting out of their cars or something, because these are the germiest kids he's ever been around. Anyway, so he was sick all week. Sam flies out. I went to the older son's football game in another side of town that
he doesn't particularly like.
you don't want to take a wrong turn. That's all I'm gonna say.
And he drove my Tahoe that has aftermarket.
Yeah, I was
tires.
had the clock in the car, and I was like, God, I hope I don't make a wrong turn here, and I'm not wearing the wrong colors. So, made it home safe. So did the kids from the football team. But so then, me and Sam talked about this on Tuesday, and I'm like, there's like a hurricane.
No, it wasn't Tuesday. I was on my flight from Jacksonville to Minneapolis.
It was Monday then.
It was Monday.
When I bitched it.
And I was on the Wi-Fi. I was like on my phone and all, and we were texting back and forth. And he's like, "Hey, did you know about the storm?" I was like, "I heard about it, but I didn't know." And it showed the path, and I was like,
This
literally the day I was supposed to fly home, which was yesterday, Thursday, was when it was going to be coming to Atlanta.
Got it.
If anyone's been watching the news,
Yeah. So Sam was supposed to come back Thursday.
I was supposed to be back yesterday.
So they changed their flight.
Tuesday morning, when I got up, I said, I'm not going to chance it. I was like, please change my flight. I got to go home. I got a sick kid.
And there's a hurricane.
Tuesday, he started throwing up again. Tuesday afternoon, your mom texted and was like, he's throwing up again. I was like, I have to go home. A hurricane. School got canceled.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. Like, we're in Jacksonville, so we're not in the path, but with hurricanes, you don't know if it comes on land and breaks to the right.
Well, and a lot of our schools are sheltered.
Yeah.
So they have to close that in order for there to be shelter for people that need it.
So the kids are home Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. An early release on Wednesday.
Yeah. And then
just a complete shit show.
last night, the power goes off in the middle of the night.
11:30 to about.
You can hear them, like, there's branches falling. You can hear them. We're from Florida, so we don't really do anything other than buy an extra case of beer and some ice.
And some water.
We didn't buy. We had like 8 bottles.
In case we have to flush the toilets.
Yeah, but so we're like asleep, and I can hear like branches breaking and falling.
Oh my God, they were everywhere.
Like, so
We've
annoying.
already filled up the street with just the front yard. We haven't even done the backyard yet.
No, we didn't. We need to take a picture tomorrow before I post it of what the backyard looks like. There's so much crap.
Oh, we
Just
should have did it
branches
before you did the pool.
Branches and the pool had so many leaves. It's just green, like, because it just dilutes all the chlorine.
We don't have a screen around ours because
just...
we're true Floridians. We don't need a screen, and I can imagine if we had a screen, it'd be tarnished. I mean, it would just be
covered in leaves. No sun would get to the pool.
But yeah, so
power went off at like.
I think it was about 11:30 because Bodie, the youngest, he woke up around midnight, right around 12. He's like, the power's off. I said, no, it's not. He goes, yes, it is. And I looked and I was like, the fans are on. Why are the fans on? So he got into bed with us. And then what did he do? Kicks off the blankets and goes, it's so hot in here.
That was after a while.
Yeah. But then he falls asleep, has some more nightmares. He's like,
it's like a virus.
He's like Bruce Lee octopus on Tourette's when he's sleeping. I got punched in the eye. I finally got up and was like, I'm going to the couch. And I got on the couch about 1:30 and slept in his office. And then it came on about 4. And then I got back to bed about 7:30.
Yeah, the old brown comfortable leather couch.
We've had for
So
years.
this has been the most exhausting week of all time. I almost was like, I don't know if I can even do a podcast tonight. I'm so tired.
I'm so tired.
It's just like, I just want to go to bed. But
I'm so tired. I haven't slept.
we do have some exciting stuff going on this weekend. Alabama and Georgia. It's going down. Everyone's excited. I think Alabama's going to get them. They're like 6-1 against them, I think is what the record is. People seem to forget that. So Alabama's still Georgia's daddy right now. So
we talk Kirby everything he knows.
That's right. Would you want to talk about your trip? You said she told me she didn't want to tell me too much of it because she wanted to share it on the podcast. So I don't know what's coming.
I think I ended up telling you most of it because I started drinking vodka and just got real talkative the other night.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the flight in was great. There was no turbulence. The only thing that sucked was I did get there kind of late. It was already dark. Well, then I had to drive an hour to my hotel. Over an hour. It was an hour and a half, wasn't it?
I think so. Because you called me, but it was.
I tried talking to him because I was already tired, and I didn't sleep on the plane because I'm a lunatic and I was afraid I was gonna fall out of the sky.
Sam wants to clean up the yard.
Because I get off before he
yeah,
does.
and it's like super hot outside. Like, let's just do it this weekend. Like, we'll do it like Saturday, afternoon or
I was
Sunday.
like, well, the kids still aren't here. We have to do
And
it.
she wants to do it. She's like, we got to do it now. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to climb on the roof right now. So Sam's like, watch them. I'll get up there. So I was like, okay. So we get out the ladder.
Because typically I'm a badass and I can do extreme things. Like certain things just don't scare me.
So we get out the blower and the ladder. I'm like, by all means. So
I've
Sam
seen
tries
him do
to.
it. It didn't look that hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look that hard to do. Sam tries to get up by the garage. Like, this will be easier, but it's just a standard slope. So there's no, normally when I get up, we have by our front door, the roof pitches. Yeah. So usually I put it in the corner, and then I use the corner to push myself up and kind of jump up there. So Sam's like, yeah, it looks really easy. So Sam says, she tried by the garage, that didn't work. So I said, well, do it where I do it, and you can just push yourself up. So Sam goes over there, and it's like, how do you do this? I'm like, well, I put my hand on both sides, and I just push myself.
I'm getting sweaty.
I just push myself up, and I throw my leg up there. It's like you're jumping a fence, And she's like, I should have recorded it. If I had known it was going to be this hilarious, I would have recorded. But Sam is shaking on the ladder. I'm like, you're on the fourth step. Just go up.
My bottom lip was chapped.
Get on the top, and you just get on the top step, even though it says don't stand up there. You just stand on that one and just jump up there. I'm holding the ladder. Sam's like, are you holding it? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, but it's on concrete. You'll be fine.
He had his toe on it. It was like, yeah, I'm holding it.
So Sam gets up there, blows the leaves and crap off the roof. Coming down, you would have thought Sam was standing on the edge of, the Grand Canyon or something. Just a massive drop off. Sam's like, how do I get down? I'm like, well, what I do is I put my foot on the ladder and then I just climb down.
Let's note the case. I have climbed the ladder and jumped off the roof into the swimming pool numerous times. But
she's like, so go down backwards? I'm like, yeah, just put your hands on the roof, put one foot on the ladder, and I'll hold your foot, and then just put the other foot on the ladder, and then you just kind of back down, but keep your hands on the roof. Sam's literally like, I don't see how that's possible. I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
You watched me do it, putting up Christmas lights and blowing off the roof and cleaning it up. I do it.
Just be clear, I'm the one that puts up the Christmas lights. Not you.
I've definitely put up my fair share of Christmas lights.
But standing on the ladder is one
but
thing.
Normally,
we've never gotten up on the roof to put up Christmas lights.
Well, either way, I've blown off the roof and cleaned out the gutters multiple times. So Sam cannot figure out how to do it backwards. So
I was literally like,
yeah, I'm like, just give me your foot. I'm like, just put it right here. Okay, this is the top step. She's like, I can't. I'm like, you're 6 feet off the ground. If you fall, you might twist your ankle. You'll be fine.
You'll bounce. I'm like, that's concrete.
I was like, you're gonna. I said, if you fall, you're gonna land on me. It's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. Okay. So Sam turns around and does it the other way, facing out, and she thinks this will be easier. We also have a gutter guard that's like this, so that the water coming down the thing, in the corner, doesn't overflow. It sends it into the gutter. So Sam was trying to sit down and get her legs over.
My shorts got caught.
Gutter guard. She's hung up on it. I'm like, just roll off the roof and just fall. I don't know what
I was almost.
She was Sam said, I can't do this. And I said, do you want me to call the fire department? Because this would be amazing. To have the fire department come get you down off of our roof that's 8 foot high.
You could have been like Tom Segura. It's happening. No. Call them all. Send them all.
911, what's your emergency?
My wife's stuck on the roof.
My wife up on the roof, man. I don't know what to do.
It's not a cat. It's his wife.
Your wife? Yep. Your wife, sir? Yeah, she climbed up on the roof. She ain't coming. She can't get down.
She decided to do yard work.
I'm sitting in a chair drinking a beer recording it, but y'all got to send somebody out here. Send the fire department. Maybe somebody can shimmy up there. Y'all got a rookie that can shimmy up there and get her.
They would send the rookie in his Toyota Tundra with a ladder to get me. They wouldn't even send the truck.
So Sam gets down eventually after 15 minutes.
Oh my God, you're going to talk about that.
And she's all shaky and she's like,
my My chest hurt.
I was like, she's like, I feel so weird. I'm like, that's called adrenaline. And that's a fun thing.
My chest was like tight, and it just felt like it was like enclosing. Like, I felt like my chest was like this little. I was like, it hurts to breathe.
It was
like,
hilarious. She's like, I don't feel good. I'm like, that's adrenaline. A lot of people are looking for that. That's a good hit right there you got.
That was the most adrenaline I think I've ever had in my life, and I don't want to.
Why don't you sit down and have a water and just dial it back a little bit? So the front yard's clean. That's the end of this story.
My ankle hurts from walking on the roof.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the party.
And so does my hip.
Yeah, it's fun time. It's not easy. I don't want to say I'm a hero, but I do it at least once a year. No big deal.
You don't do it once a year.
Yeah, I
You've
do.
done it like twice since we've been.
Oh, that's bullshit. I do it at least once a
Well,
year.
when I blew off, like it had been up there for a while.
It looks like that every time I go up there. Our house is surrounded by oak trees. Whether you go up there every month or every 6 months or every 2 years, there's shit everywhere. There's just dirty, gross brown leaves in the gutters. That's why I don't clean it out, because I'm like, well, I'll do it in the winter. And then I'm like, well, I need to let all the leaves fall. And then I'm like, well, I'll do it in the summer. But just shit falls year round. It's just, we have storms. It's always full of shit. All right. Well, you got...
Oh my god, I have mascara all over my face.
You got some over here a little bit. There you go. It's like up there where you wiped it. Well, hit us with your highlights on the trip there.
So the rent-a-car place in Minneapolis screwed up my rental. It took me 40 minutes to get my rental, which made me extremely late getting my hotel. It was like way past 10:30.
Sons of bitches.
Which was 11:30 our time. So to
Did you
me,
call him John Turkey?
I don't know.
Damn, you should have. It's a good
But I was
chance
not
to slip
happy.
it in there.
I was not happy.
The old jive turkey.
When I finally went to that guy who knew what was happening and going on, and he was like, "Oh, they did a partial checkout. You have to go all the way back downstairs, get them to check you out, and then come all the way back up."
I got these keys, Clay. I'm going to the gate.
But no, they've changed it. You can't get out of the parking garage unless you connect your. You get a QR code that connects you to the car, and you have to scan it when you go out.
Are there spikes?
Yeah, actually, it's like barricaded where you can't just run through it.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna find out how this Ford Focus handles, because Daddy's getting out of here.
It was a Ford Edge, and I drove the piss out of that thing for 3 days. It needs new brakes.
I'm not surprised.
So, when he told me that, I tried keeping my cool the entire time. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta go all the way back upstairs. You gotta do this, and you can come back upstairs." And it was already like 9? It was probably 9 or whatever. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And he was like, "Man," I was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "I just got off the flight. I am tired." Like, I felt bad. But when I got back upstairs and he got me in the car, I did apologize to him.
To be fair, you're acting like something that's taking an hour at 9:30 at night is normal, and it's fucking not. Give me the keys. I want to go.
Yeah.
This isn't McDonald's at noon, and I'm waiting on a quarter pounder. I want to go. There's nobody here. Give me the fucking keys. I'm trying to go.
I hadn't had a beer all day.
Yeah, like
I was ready to
I
go.
don't have time for your bullshit. Dude, I don't care what your computer glitch is. Give me keys that I can drive a car.
So,
I want to leave.
Here in the great state of Florida, you can buy beer pretty much
Oh my god.
anytime.
Up till 2.
Up till 2. And you can't buy it before 6 or 7. We ran that we
I
went
want to
fishing.
say it's 6.
Okay.
2 to 6, you can't.
It's totally understandable. There's like a 4-hour.
It doesn't make sense.
It
If you're trashed at 2 or you're trashed at 6, I don't know why it would matter if you're trashed at 3 or 4 or 5. Like whatever.
I am hauling butt through this little town. I'm trying to make my way through. It was stout, and I get to my exit where my hotel is. There's a BP. There's a guy filling up his gas tank. I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's got to be open." So I go up, pull the door. They're closed. He's like, "Oh, they're already closed." Okay. So then I see there's a Quick Trip, which by the way is very popular in Wisconsin. I go in and I pull the beer door. It's locked. And yes, it's a pull. It wasn't a push. It wasn't a slide. It was a pull. And it's locked. And we have a gas station here in town that I recently, remember over there off Phillips Highway with that one night? I stopped to get beer on the way to the football game to have when we got home. And I had to show my ID before I could open the doors, before I could go into the cooler and get it.
That
So
must be
it's like-
another one of those areas take a wrong turn and you need to have the block in the car. Don't wear the wrong colors.
So I was like, oh, maybe it's one of those. So I go up to the cashier. I was like, hey, we need to get some beer in your beer cooler. He goes, we don't serve beer after 9 o'clock. I'm like, excuse me?
9 o'clock. Is this? Sam told me this. I got to interject here for a second.
I thought we didn't want this to be a 25
Is this the movie Footloose? What the fuck are we doing here? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Do you guys allow dancing in your town? Is that allowed? Like, can we listen to music? 9 o'clock, Wisconsin. You guys
aren't they known for drinking?
Kind of. Little bit of drinking, frying everything, and football, and overweight people. It's winter. They're not active in the wintertime. It's cold. You don't go outside.
So I found
9 o'clock's early.
I found out the next morning that it was just the particular county I was in. They think because the guys I were with were like, no, that can't be true because that's not a thing. But they think it's probably because of the county we were in. But whatever. So I get to my hotel room, call him, and I'm trying to go to sleep. I could not sleep for the love of God. Get up super early in the morning, do what I needed to do during the day. They changed my flight. After 8 hours of being on my feet, I then have to get into a car and drive 4 hours?
It was a lot.
4 hours.
Yeah. They got hills there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Florida didn't have that. There's no hills. If you see a hill, it's
and it started to get dark. I was doing like 80 miles an hour, and I was like, please God, don't let a deer run out in front of me. I just want to get where I'm getting. I got two big tall boy beers, like the ones we buy sometimes.
That
like
you bought before 9, obviously.
30, well, I bought it before I left south.
Thank
When
God.
it was still daylight. And they're rolling around on the floor.
People are like, oh, we can't have people getting drunk after 9 o'clock at night. The anarchy that would ensue.
Oh my God. So, one of the funniest, something that was funny for me was, I flew out of Madison, and for some reason, I always thought Madison, Wisconsin was big. You would think, right?
I wouldn't.
Oh. I don't know
But
why.
it's a college town, right? It's like Gainesville. Gainesville has the University of Florida and nothing around it. Nothing.
Well,
When you drive to Gainesville, it is depressing.
But I was like driving, and it said, you've arrived. I'm like, where's the airport? And I texted you, I was like, I don't know if I'm at the right airport. Because
Sam said, do they have 2 airports? I'm like, how would I know that?
Because in Jacksonville, we have the Jacksonville International, we have Cecil Field, we have one in St. Augustine, we have a bunch of little ones, and then we have big ones.
I don't know.
And I was like, did I just pull up to one of those little Cessna airports or something? I was getting sweaty palms, and I just started freaking.
Were your knees weak, arms were heavy? Did you have mom's spaghetti vomit on the sweater already?
Then I got filled up by TSA.
Oh.
I got a breast exam. Good news, I'm still
Was LaQuisha gentle?
No, she actually went hard. Palm down this, and then between my legs. Yeah, she was.
You think is there any way I could go and get a check without getting on a plane?
At Jacksonville International,
just to get a little.
I didn't have to take my belt off. I had to take my shoes off. I didn't have to take my liquids out of my carry-on. I didn't have to take my laptop out. I didn't have to take my food. Nothing. I didn't have to take anything out. I just put it all in the same belt, and it went through. All I had to do was take my shoes off. So I need to know the difference between Jacksonville and Wisconsin, please.
Well, they don't want you. They don't want you smuggling American guns and drugs.
Oh, they probably thought I had spotted cow hidden in my crotch.
To be fair, I haven't been on a plane since me and Sam got
2010.
married. Yeah, so 14 years. I have no desire to get on a plane ever.
I don't like flying. I don't like airports. I don't like flying.
And me and Sam are on board with that.
We don't go places where we have to fly. We drive if we can, and he's got a 4 or 5 hour minimum that he can do, or max. So that's as far as we go.
I got no interest in it. I mean, you could give me I guess if you really balled it out with first class, hey, we're gonna give you first class.
Well, now they have TVs.
Well, I'm just saying, but if you were to give me first class tickets to Italy, full expenses paid, whatever, I'd be like, but I gotta be on a plane for how many hours? I don't like being in confined space. I want to get up and move around. And I don't mean like walk to the bathroom, walk back to my seat. Like, I need to be able to like go outside. Like, I can't sit still for
walk out on the wing like you're
like
doing
for
a
8 hours.
spacewalk.
Like, I need to fly the plane for a little bit. Like, y'all gotta give me some like.
All right.
So, but I wanted to say this about flying. I have never been. We flew to Las Vegas for our wedding. That is the farthest west I've ever been. Outside of that, I've never been west of Alabama, and I've never been north of Tennessee. And I'd like to keep it that way.
I have.
America.
I've been as west as you guys haven't been in California yet, but I think that's coming. And then Wisconsin, Minneapolis is definitely the furthest north I've been. But I've been to Washington. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Cincinnati.
There've been a whole bunch of places.
Ohio. Yeah.
I'm basically SEC country. It just means more here. Okay.
But the only reason I ever did that
Tennessee to Alabama, west to the or east to the coast, and I've been to Miami. Like that's all we're going. Like.
All right. So I have like 2 more things and then one special announcement, and then I'm done.
A special announcement.
So on the way home, I fly out of Madison, get on board. It's a smaller plane. There's no TVs in the headset or the back of the head or anything like that. I'm sitting in the middle at this point. Really super nice guy on one side, another really nice chick on the other side.
Was she pretty?
No. And homeboy fell asleep the second we took off, like before we even took off. Like we were taxiing.
He took an Ambien.
He had like a blackout. He had a neck thing on. He had his ear pods in. Peace. There was no Wi-Fi on this flight. There was no TVs on this flight. We barely got crackers and drinks. Thankfully, we got a Diet Coke because I'm terrified to have to pee.
What are you supposed to do on a flight? I don't know.
I don't have a book. I don't have a magazine. I really thought I had Wi-Fi on every airplane at this point. Not this one. So, anyways, way smaller plane because it's like 3 and then 2 is the setup on this one. At one point in the flight, we had a lot of turbulence. We weren't allowed to take our seatbelts off from Madison to Atlanta, and I'm sitting there and I'm focused. Luckily, your playlist you sent me, I downloaded it so I could use offline music on Amazon and could listen to that to kind of keep me calm. And I'm paying attention to everything because I'm terrified of falling out of the sky. And I see the flight attendant. She stands right in front of first class, and she's standing there like Secret Service. She's watching. There's a flight attendant behind us, and she literally goes. Like does this whole thing. I'm like,
She told him to steal third.
and then there's another flight attendant behind her on a phone, and she's like, I'm like,
Were they drinking?
I was like, oh shit, it's happening. Fucking going down. Because we had so much
Were
turbulence.
you looking for Al Qaeda?
I'd immediately been looking. I'd have been like, oh, where's he at? He's in
At
here.
one point, I tried going to sleep in my head against the seat in front of me like this, and we had such rough turbulence that I went up and grabbed it and like pushed back because I thought we were falling out of the sky, and the girl beside me starts laughing. She flies up.
None of this is convincing me to want to fly
And
anywhere.
so after that, so when I see her standing there, I'm like, oh my god, it's happening. We're going down. We're going down. I need to make my peace. Where's my maker? And then I see the pilot door open. She goes in. Pilot comes out. I'm like, he's going to talk to us and tell us there's no safe landing. Like, I started going through this whole thing. But he goes to the bathroom.
Find the shit.
And I'm like, this is literally an hour and a half flight, bro. Hour and 40 minutes is what it's supposed to be. You can't hold it? You didn't go before we left?
There go poo poo. Gotta let him run.
So I'm like, okay, well, when he comes out and she goes and sits down, I'll feel better. So he comes out, he goes into the pilot, and then she comes back, she picks up the phone again. She's doing one of these the whole time. I'm like, what's so secretive? Like, no one can read lips. And she's still standing there, like, looking at everybody. Hasn't moved one step, not even an inch. Pilot door opens, he comes out, she goes in, closes the door, he goes to the bathroom. I'm like,
Well, it makes you
hour and 40
feel-
minutes, guys.
Guys, they're probably doing cocaine in the bathroom, so they're leaving the baggie in there, and they're just switching off using.
So then he finally comes out, she comes out, then the girl goes and sits down. This entire time I'm thinking in my head, like, we're fucking going down. They want to relieve themselves. Like, I literally thought we were going down. We had so much turbulence. We weren't allowed to take our seatbelts off, but he can go take a piss.
Well, you got a piss, you got this. He probably had, listen, to be fair, he probably had several beers before the flight, so you had to go. I mean, like an hour and a half, and you drink 4 or 5 beers before you take off. You gotta go.
What's so funny is my parents drove me and picked me up from the airport both days. And on the way home,
grandparents.
And on the way home, you know, they're asking about it, and I got super quiet. I remember I was quiet and wasn't talking or saying things. I was so tired, so hungry, so thirsty. And my dad's about to go into the liquor store to give me some vodka for me. And I was like telling them about that story, and I was like, I totally forgot that my life flashed before my eyes. And my dad's like, you what do you call it? Compartmentalize? Compartmentalize, like, trauma. And that was the trauma. I totally forgot about it until like that second, and then I had to tell them the whole story. Second thing.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Why am I so sweaty? I don't know.
No, I'm not gonna ask that.
This is so many stressful stories.
I just thought about this, and I've seen like memes and stuff about this. This just goes back to my lack of wanting to fly. I've seen like where people post stuff like this. Give me a second to say this. They take babies on an airplane, and I don't understand why you would ever take a child under 6 on an airplane for anything, ever. I don't understand the reason. They're basically wild animals, and I wouldn't take a fucking raccoon on an airplane. So I definitely wouldn't take a 6-month-old baby. And if you do, you're kind of a dickhead. Just an FYI.
I will say this: the ones that did have kids on our flight, they were phenomenal. All the flights I had, there was a kid, not kids.
Why are you taking
and they did
them?
great.
Why do you have to? Why
I
do you
have family that lives across country.
Okay.
They want to go home.
Here's the deal: grandparents that live across the country. If your daughter, she gets married, she has a child. There's a newborn baby. It's 6-month-old. Oh, that's precious. You get your old retired ass in a plane and you fly to them. You don't make them take the baby in an airplane. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It doesn't make any sense. They're babies. The parents are fucking exhausted just living their lives. You're retired, most likely. Get your old ass in an airplane and you fly to them. If they don't have anywhere for you to stay, there's probably hotels around. That's it. We also don't want to come to your house for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Just an FYI. You know, come to us.
So my the last story, my plane was delayed because I guess we slowed down because we had so much turbulence and we went through a storm that I literally landed.
None of this is convincing me to want to fly. None of this.
I literally landed in Atlanta at like gate D25. So if you've ever been in Atlanta, you know D is this way. ABC is this way.
None of this sounds good.
And I didn't know I had to take a tram. I don't travel, guys. This is all new to me. You can make fun of me. You can say I'm simple. You can say I'm whatever you want to.
You're a world traveler compared to me. Just an FYI.
I quickly was like looking at the signs, looking at my watch. My flight was supposed to leave at 3:15. I was supposed to have an hour layover. I literally had enough time to get to the gate. Like I had to run to the tram when I found out I finally got on the tram. Ran to the tram, got off the tram, ran to my gate, which, as you all know, like terminals run long ways. My gate was the very last one. So when I got up here, I had to run all the way.
Sam, they set it up that way on purpose. There's never gates beside each other.
I felt like the scene in Home Alone running. I had to pee. I so desperately wanted a beer and a shot. But there's no alcohol beyond point, so I would literally have to chug it, and I already had to pee, and I was like, this isn't going to work. I told him, I was like, I'll text you when I get to the gate. He texted me when I got on the plane. They made me check my bag, which I had to carry on. Luckily, before I left the house, I found my luggage locked.
Were you wearing a Trump shirt?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know. I'm not allowed to do it.
Luckily, I grabbed my luggage locks just in case, because that was something in the back of my head. And I had a luggage tag that I keep on my backpack Then I quickly put it on my luggage. He's like, we gotta check your bag. I'm like, okay, do I need to lock it? He goes, yes, you need to lock it. So I had to quickly lock it, get on the plane. They were trying to hurry us because I think they knew there was a storm coming through. My seat, if anyone was wondering, was literally the last row 45A on the window. Was my seat. I'm pretty sure I got a little jet fuel high because I was behind the jet when we took off. And we had so much turbulence. When we got in the air, I saw lightning, scared the shit out of me. I texted him, I was like, this is not good. Like, I'm not happy. I am scared. Once again, we had enough turbulence that it literally took my butt off the seat and back down.
Right. People are like, Cody, why don't you like traveling? And I'm like, have you ever heard my wife talk about? Doesn't sound fun, okay? It also costs a lot of money.
I once was on a plane for a work trip that we were about to take off, and they deplaned us 4 times, and the last time they took us off,
Oh my God.
they realized when we were taxiing, the brakes didn't work, and brought us back to the terminal, and literally slowly pulled us to the terminal. The tip of the nose ran into the terminal to stop us, and then took us out in 2 feet of snow on the tarmac.
So the videos where I've seen, like, and I'm sure you guys have seen, where they show people like stuck on a plane for like 3 hours on the runway. I would literally be on the no-fly list. I would say, you're going to open this door, or I'm going to open it, because my claustrophobia is not going to allow me to sit here for 1 more minute, and I'm about to start punching people. And if the air marshal's here, I hope he comes up, because I'd like to punch him so we can get off this fucking plane, and you take me to jail, and that's fine. Let's just get off of this. I can't breathe. I would lose my shit, and I'm going to pistol whip somebody.
Because there's no air on the plane when it's just sitting.
Oh, I got to show my video. Are you done with the vacation stuff? Or not?
Vacation?
Work stuff. Before I forget, if you got to finish it.
But we were delayed. Short story. We were delayed on the tarmac for a few minutes before we got lifted up, though. And once we got up in the air, it was hellacious. I texted him, I was like, please tell me it's sunny in Jacksonville. It was not sunny in Jacksonville.
We're bracing for a hurricane, sweetie, Godspeed. I was just like,
yes,
what is the tribute thing they do on Hunger Games? Is it this? I think it's this. I don't know. I think they do this. They give them the tribute.
And I have never ran off of a plane so fast before in my life. Ran to my parents so fast before in my life. I even texted my mom. I was like, bring me a beer and a shot of something. I'm going to do it in the parking lot.
You shotgun one?
No, she didn't bring me anything. She's like, we can stop. I'm like, I know I can stop. I needed it when I got off the plane. If I knew you didn't have it, I would have stopped at the bar.
You could have brought a tall boy, Melanie. Just pop it.
I would have stopped at the Chili's before I went and grabbed my baggage, but I also didn't want to miss getting my baggage.
Could have got some Southwestern egg rolls and maybe some boneless buffalo wings.
So,
God, I'm white trash.
But one more thing. Oh, I forgot to go get them.
Oh, we gotta wrap this. I got my video. We gotta wrap this up. What is it?
All right. So if you fly Delta, you can ask the flight attendant, and she'll let you know if you can go ask the pilot directly, or they'll go ask. But all Delta pilots carry trading cards. And I didn't know this until the nice girl that was sitting next to me told me about it, because she was getting it for her niece and nephew. I was like, oh, my boys will love that. So I got one from one flight, and then on my flight from Helene and Jacksonville, because we were delayed, they told me I could go up and ask the pilot. I got to go in the cockpit. I got to shake their hands, talk to them for a minute, and they gave me 2 sets of cards because I told them I had 2 boys. And our oldest has loved them. He thought it was really cool. The youngest doesn't really get it, but if I have to fly anywhere else for work, because there's a chance I'd go to Colorado and stuff like that.
None of this interests me. Not one of this. I quit my job.
You don't want to go to Hawaii with me?
I don't think, I told you this, I don't think I could make it on the flight. Like, we would fly from Jacksonville to Los Angeles, and I'd be like, I'm not going. I can't settle.
No, it's
I don't even know
it's Jacksonville to Fort Worth, and then Fort Worth to Hawaii.
Nightmare. Unless I can fly, if we're on a private jet, I could probably do it, but that's how people say everything I want. I'm bougie as hell about football games. If I'm not in a box or down in like the 3rd or 4th row, I don't really want to go.
That's actually true.
I don't want to sit in the top like I watch it on TV. Like, I don't want to be, oh, I think, I think they're running the ball down. No, I think it was a pass. Like, I want to watch it on TV in HD, or I want to be in a box, or the third row on the 40 yard line.
The trading card thing is really cool. So if you didn't know about it, if I'm late to the game, sorry. But if it's something you didn't know about, it's really cool. And they're so excited that you asked because I don't think it's a thing. The girl that told me about it said it was never like talked about. It's like a special thing, like the trading of the pins or like Disney World or whatever. But she said someone posted about it on social media once and it kind of blew up, but it doesn't seem like it's blown up enough.
You gotta ask.
But my oldest Googled it. He said there's around 1,000 something of these cards. So whatever that pilot flies, so like a 757 or a 745 or whatever it is, that's the card they have. And on the back of it, it tells you like their speed, when it was made, how many people it carries, and it just has all of the.
I'd like to know how many times it's crashed.
Oh fuck!
Do you have that statistic on the card?
No. Okay, let me show you my video. Did I show you this of Trump talking the other day?
No.
All right, I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna show you this. All right, or put it back here.
That make up stories. They said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it wasn't, it shouldn't have been. It was round, sir. They have seen, 4 or 5 guys I've interviewed, solid people, great pilots for the U.S. Air Force, etc. They've seen things that they cannot explain.
Follow-up
So
question.
Also a maybe. I think
Follow-up question, Mr.
Maybe.
President. Follow-up. If in fact there are aliens, would you be willing to put...
So they asked him about UFO stuff, and he said he couldn't. I think at the beginning of the video, he said he couldn't go into that, but he said I don't know whether they're real or not, but I have talked to pilots that was where it went into that said. So it's kind of like last week's episode we did the Bill Clinton video. None of them want to come out and directly say it, but
Isn't it like in the president's book or something?
That's like the whole National Treasure movie thing, but there's other people that say that they won't tell the president about the president does not have clearance to know about UFOs because he's going to be gone.
I think there's a lot of things the president doesn't have clearance.
I think with UFOs and aliens and everything that's gone on, they're not going to give you 100-year history like for Donald Trump or Biden or whoever.
Because you're in it for 4 years, so
you're going to tell friends and everything. They're not going to give you that information. If we get invaded, they're going to be like, "Sir, this is what we know about it," and they're going to unload a bunch of stuff.
Well, in the movies, they're like, "Well, why didn't I know about this?" Well, you're really privy to the information you need to know.
That's like Independence Day. So unless we're getting invaded, we're not going to tell you about it. It's not, So that was my little conspiracy alien thing for the week. But what? Which one? The mirror thing?
No, that was a ghost.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
About planes.
Oh, you can talk about it real quick. I do have to piss extremely bad, so we gotta wrap this thing up.
Do you think it's stupid? I don't want to talk about everything because we're gonna think I'm stupid.
Let's talk about it next week. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it next week.
I have my own conspiracy.
Sam has a conspiracy about planes that we gotta fly. I called a brief that I was like, we gotta talk about this.
Even the oldest was like, what?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that next week. I do want to say this. If you guys didn't watch the shorts on YouTube or TikTok, watch our last short where I'm talking to Alexa because she just lit up over there. But
Shut up, Alexa.
yeah, there is a she's still listening. There is you can ask it a question about the James Webb Telescope and what it saw, and go watch the short and let us know. Either comment on the short or comment on this. I thought it was wild. I saw it on something else. I was like, I gotta try this. So I recorded it, and I just thought it was funny because it's about aliens. So
Also, don't forget, if you're watching our stuff on YouTube, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything.
There's a
just
bunch
a
of people.
YouTube
It always
account.
shows like most of our viewers are non-subscribed, but
Subscribers.
people that are 50 minutes in or an hour or whatever we're at right now, people that are this far into it are subscribers. They're not the people that aren't. So most of the shorts and stuff, people don't subscribe. But
Well, tell your friends about it.
yeah, spread the word. So
I
can
spread the
keep
word on
doing
the
this.
airplane.
We're like me and Sam kind of started this out. Like we said, let's give it a couple years. So we're probably gonna do this for a year or two. If we've got 140 followers at 2 years, probably not gonna keep doing it. But
Also to make it very clear, like anyone who I saw a comment there that said, "Oh, anybody can have a podcast." We literally are doing this out of fun.
it's fun.
And
Yeah.
kind of like a boredom thing. Like it gave us something to do because we like bantering back and forth. We like talking about things, and we don't always have like an audience to tell things to. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an outlet for us. So it's fun.
We'll keep doing it. You know, we've got some runs left in us still, but you know, we're not gonna stop anytime soon. But you know, we do want to grow the channel and make it something where you know it becomes a little bit more popular. We've got a little bit more engagement. So
And with the holidays coming up and my decorating skills, there's gonna be a lot of content. We got new
we
skeletons
gotta do
set up.
we gotta do some shorts with your new setup. All right. So we'll talk to you guys next week. Later.